What's going on, fellas?
What up? What up?
Season 3. The ball just keeps going. I just want to say a couple of things before we start. First of all, thank you so much to our sponsor, Anchor. We really appreciate it. For those of you that are listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, I greatly appreciate you guys listening. I know we have that ad that runs in the beginning of every single episode. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Thank you, Anchor, for distributing our podcast to all platforms, Google, Apple, Spotify, everywhere, Amazon. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys, Real Relay fans, for listening in the first place. I appreciate that. And for those watching us on YouTube, thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out the description box below for any more information. Check out our videos. Hit the bell for notifications. Don't forget to subscribe for you boys. And leave some fucking wacky-ass comments, man. I'm pumped. Anyway, that's just a big thank you. There is a lot of work being done in Real Relate behind the scenes. We just got trademark officially, which is dope. Today is the first day that Real Relate is recognized by the United States and is fully trademark. If no one opposes it for the next 30 days, we're Gucci. Fuck you to someone who opposes it in the next 30 days, but we'll be straight and we'll get the certificate in. So a lot of back end work is being done with Real Relate. A lot of search engine optimization is being done on the back end as well too. So a lot more Real Relate videos will be shown fucking in your YouTube home, in your fucking recommended videos at YouTube, and we're working on Spotify and Apple Podcasts next to get put in a lot of different podcast playlists to cross pollination, to spread the wealth. But today, we're working on season 3, the behemoth of season 3. The train is rolling, and we got a super special guest in the building today. Someone who's been at the game for 10 years, over 10 years in the game. He's got his own podcast and then he's also a fucking artist as well too. Mind you, this is a rated R show, so say and do whatever you want. But you already know who's in the fucking building. Amir Maxx in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes,
super special guest. You already know what time it is. We locked into the Real Relay podcast. How you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. I just got out of work. I was telling y'all that before we got rolling. So it feels cool, hop out of work, do the podcast with y'all, man. I respect everything you guys are doing with the podcast and the professionalism and just all that, bro. So it's really dope to see y'all just elevate, man, for real.
For sure. And we appreciate you coming on here as well, too. We greatly appreciate it and stuff. And like I said, you're just another beast in the fucking Boston area.
Thanks,
and
man.
I don't want to take this thunder from Barber, gatekeeper, holder, observer.
Yeah.
Go ahead. That's the question.
Yes, I always like to start out the pod so they can get to know you a little bit better.
For sure.
But Amir Maxx, who are you today?
Who am I today? Damn, it's deep. I say I'm determined and committed to the things that bring me happiness. Just try to do my thing, do things my way. That's always been kind of like my motto and my whole just the way I do things. Do it for yourself. Do it to be happy, and that's it. So I'd say that's who I am. Yeah.
I was going to say,
Nice.
I hope to have as pure as a soul as you. I feel like you are one of the
Thanks,
most of the positive.
I don't need these headphones.
Yeah, you don't have to put them on if you don't want. We always say it's always an option with the headphones. But I was gonna say you have one of the most purest souls I've ever seen. Super positive.
Thank you, man.
No matter what's thrown at you, just super positive, and you keep pumping out content for all these years. Why? You know what I mean? Why? What kind of why keep at it for this long? And then the reason why I asked that question is because that's going to give someone an idea as to why they should continue doing it. Bring it back to the roots.
Yeah.
And a big thing is you're a hip hop artist. You're also an artist as well too. You create music. And you're also a podcast host. You're an entrepreneur, all in fucking one.
You could call, definitely a podcast, entrepreneur. It's the term.
Yes, entrepreneur.
So the term people like to use nowadays.
You're definitely like that guy. And I've heard about you too in the streets.
Yeah,
you know
in the
what I mean?
streets.
So,
in the streets.
So,
In
the streets.
With a K.
So I want to know, first of all, before we get into all of that, what's your background? Where are you coming from? Where were you raised? Give us a little bit of background.
Yeah,
story.
man. I grew up in a Jamaican household. My parents are straight out of Jamaica. They probably moved here in their 20s and stuff. I got 2 older brothers. So I feel like, the mixture of the strict Caribbean parents, they're strict, but not strict, but, they're Caribbean parents. So if you know, you know. And, having two older brothers, being the baby in the family, I feel like it's always put this thing to me to like prove something, to like show like, I'm cool too. Like I'm not, it's not like I'm thinking that like nowadays, but like, when I think about where it all stems from, for me, either I was gifted a guitar at 10 years old or I asked for it. I always wanted to stand out. Nowadays I just do my own thing and I try to just, move in the way I think makes sense. But essentially it's just, I feel like that's always been something, based on, the family I grew up in. I always felt like, I have two older brothers. My parents, I always felt I had something to prove. And I always felt like there was this chip on my shoulder. I don't know where it really comes from. Like I said, my parents, they just instilled a good work ethic in me. My dad had his own business. My mom, she sacrificed a lot to raise 3 kids. So I feel like just seeing my parents and what they've done has just kind of shaped it for me. And I'm very fortunate to have parents that are accepting, family that's accepting of what I'm doing. Pursuing all this stuff and multitasking and taking on a bunch of stuff. Because a lot of family, and friends even, they look at people who chase music or podcasts or anything in the entertainment industry is just a waste of time. Like, where are you going to make the money? Where is this going to come from? XYZ. But ultimately for me, like I said, at the beginning of this, I'm just determined. I'm driven. I'm very passionate about music. Like, this is not a phase. Like, I always tell people that, like, people see me, in high school doing this and they think that, like, I'm doing this to be like cool or trying to get girls and all this stuff. And I really feel like doing music, it's not really that the case. Like, you do music, people look at you like, oh God, this guy's a rapper. Oh boy, So like,
I feel you.
I could care less about what people think. At the end of the day, I do it from passion. This is straight from passion.
I was gonna say I feel it because I feel like sometimes a lot of my friends too, like, they look at the way I talk on this podcast or the way I do things, and they think I'm always doing it for like someone else's approval. And I just laugh, and I'm like, bro, like, you must not know me at all to think that. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I feel like you've probably run into similar things as well, too. And it's like, dude, do you really think I would spend this money for the studio, to build up a brand, to do all this shit for, like, just for, like, some girl's approval or some... Yeah. I mean, there are definitely people who will. 100%. I'm not doubting that. Yeah. And there are people that are super twisted and probably will do it just for the money, which is fine. Everyone has their own their own reasons to do shit. But like, you're coming on here and I'm coming on here to say like, we do this shit because we thoroughly enjoy doing it.
Straight up.
And you probably know this as well too. Like, we've been raised, whether it was high school, college, or hometown, or wherever places you visited, there are different aspects to you and your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're probably different with your high school friends than maybe you are with your college friends. And maybe you're different at home than you are in college. Like, to come on somewhere and say, hey, like, you're acting different or you're acting a certain way, bro, you don't know the whole picture. You don't know the full Amir. You know what I mean? You don't know the full Brandon. You don't know the full Jose. You know what I mean? This is what this is for. It's to show you, like, the vibe, that we're on. So I feel you. Yeah, and it's definitely, and so when people look at you as like a musician or as like a podcast host, people must look at you and think like, man, he's only doing it for the money. Oh man, he's only doing it for the girls. Or this shit ain't serious. Yeah. How do you prove him wrong?
I just proved them wrong just from staying at it. I think at this point, I think people get it now. Because, like, the people who were there when I was 15 when I first decided to put a song out, the people who, 3 years ago, they saw me launch a podcast from all the change in my stage names. I used to go by AMC. And then I think around 2018, I changed my name to Amir Maxx for my stage name. And I think all those little things and just overall consistency and just, always posting on social media, always trying to just stay out there. I think people see that, and ultimately you just got to prove things by action. Like, talking about what you're going to do gets you nowhere. I feel like the element of surprise and like holding stuff back is always great. Like, I've teased with people like I got more EPs I plan on dropping this year. I don't mind telling that.
You said 3.
Yeah, 3.
You said 3.
I'm dropping 3.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, and it's coming. But like, I just like to prove by action, and I think that's been a really big thing for me through the years. And I had to learn because trust me, when I first started out, I was cocky, I was arrogant. I didn't want to hear nobody's advice. You don't know shit. Like, oh, like, what you know about making rap? You can't even rap. Like, I used to be that guy. Right. But now I got older, more mature. I started to go through shit. You know what I mean? Like, when you're young and naive, you think you know everything. And, like, you get older. And I think that also, too, it's like people who look at what I do and they question it or they think it's like this guy, he's 25 years old, still trying to make it. It's like you have had a whole different path in your life. Like, your purpose and what you're going for is not what's mine. But don't judge me just because I'm doing this. Like, and that's how I've always seen pursuing this music stuff, pursuing this podcast stuff. Like, this is my thing, man. Let me do me. You do you. You want to work that job and work your way up the company, and you're fine with that. Wife and kids, bam. Like, a lot of people, that's their purpose. That's what they want to do. Yeah, and I used to judge people like that too. It's like, well, you don't want to be great. You don't want to be like a legend. You don't want to cement yourself. But not everybody wants to do that. Like, not everybody's trying to, leave a legacy when they're gone, or like, like there's certain things you got to just understand about everybody's goals and stuff like that. So for me, that's just kind of how I move around about it, essentially.
I agree. I learned that lesson very recently, probably like a day or two ago.
Yeah.
And like, I had known the lesson, but like it really like sank in just like as of recently, like as a reminder. And it was like, I felt like me and like a group of my friends, we felt very like, I felt like always opposed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Different views and different things going on and shit like that. And like, it just sat down and I just realized, like, these are how these people are, and that's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
I shouldn't try and change them and make them be something that they're not.
Yeah.
They're in that specific friend group for a reason. They're in that specific area for a reason.
We talk about these things for a reason. We don't talk about this for a reason. Yeah, like,
exactly. And that's how those group of people are, and that's perfectly normal. And like, to your point, like, they don't give a fuck about leaving a legacy behind. They don't care about making money. They don't care about any of that shit. They want to live a regular life and be a consumer.
They just want to know how much Jason Tatum scored last night.
Yeah, some people got very simple ways of fulfilling the day.
And like, to me, the reason why, maybe you're very similar, the reason why it was hard for me to swallow that pill is because, like, damn, how, and maybe you too as well too, is like, how do you not want to leave a legacy behind?
Yeah.
How do you not want to fucking go hard every single fucking day of your life and bust your fucking ass and like create something big and like generational wealth and have this financial freedom, and like, because we see the vision at the end.
Yeah.
There is something there. And I do believe, like in Donda, the Kanye West doc, Donda says like all good things will come from consistency. Like if you put enough time and effort into something and you try at it, not just like do something every day, like taking a shit. We all take a shit every day. Right. but like if you really build something from the ground and look at how
you're good at it, you're great at it.
You become better at it.
Better, yeah.
And you become better at it, and you become, because not everyone has a God gift and talent. Like you, at the end of the day, I can't rap. You know what I mean? And like. A lot of people need to understand that it will come over time. It's okay you learn the most from failure, not from success.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
For real, man.
And like, you got to understand that like you said, not everyone wants to be in that pool.
Yeah.
Not everyone wants to be in the type of mindset we are, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's what they are. That's their thing. That's their MO, and they'll be consumers and they fuck around with us. If not, you just keep it separate and that's it. How do you differentiate between like friends that supported you and friends that you kind of had to not hide shit from, but like not be as active with them because maybe they take the rapping and the podcast shit a type of way?
Yeah, like how did I take it as a joke almost?
Yeah.
I mean, the friends who looked at it that way, for me, I just tried to be like mature about it. It's like, you don't care about music. You're a casual listener. Even if your friend is doing his thing, like, you can't support because you just don't care about music enough. Like, maybe if it was something tailored to your interests and I did that, you might support it. I look at it that way too, but I can't help it. Like, to this day, I still will think about stuff like that. I'm like, dang, like, is the music not, they don't just like the music? Is it just like they...
Does he not fuck with me?
Yeah, like, I have that, like, side of the brain where I go to, like, I know it's not right because it's like, I know.
That's the gremlin talking.
Yeah, it's like, I know they don't hate me. These guys like me. They're my friends. But it's like, to them, the support and, supporting friends like that, it can seem daunting to some. Some people.
It's like, why are they my friend, but they don't support what I do?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that was the big thing that clicked for me. It's like, just because, like, they can be your friends, but they don't necessarily. It's tough because Rock says.
Like Rock said.
And Rock did say, like, if they're not your true friends if they don't support you 100%.
Yeah.
But to me, it's always like, I agree, but I also, like, I could see another perspective where it's like, maybe they're just not into your type of music.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not just into your type of medium.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And like, there's that too. You know what I mean? If you're telling, if I make R&B music and he don't like R&B, am I supposed? Is he supposed
the likelihood
to listen?
he's gonna like one of your songs is like extremely
low,
slim,
you know?
extremely slim. Yeah.
But the thing, I think a good point to, like, I think a good measure for me how I switch it is, like, I gotta keep creating content. I said this, I think, with Drew Dunn, and like, I think for me the way I switch it around is like, I want to keep creating content until someone like him does show it.
Exactly.
Does show that appreciation. Because it's like, damn, like, that's who I'm really trying to prove. And that's who I'm really trying to, like, you know what I mean? That's who I'm trying to impress. Because those are the people that are going to be your biggest critics. You know what I mean?
And if you can win them over.
If you can win them over,
says a lot.
you can win a lot of other people over. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that to me is like not validation, but more like constructive criticism. And so my question, how do you take constructive criticism when it comes to, like, making music and, like, also with your podcast as well, too?
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said earlier, people, if someone told me, like, I made a song, like when I was 15, 16, 17, and they just told me, like, yo, this isn't good, or, like, well, you said constructive criticism, but I would just say, like, just a straight up bad, just when people just tell you your shit's trash, like, I would not have it. Like, I'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, what are you saying? But nowadays, if people tell me, like, hey, like, this part of your verse, like, you can do this, or this chorus right here, do that. Like, if you can pick out exactly what you hear and what you say and then give me a suggestion, I'm all for that. Like, let me know what you hear and tell me. But when you tell me, like, something's trash and you don't have a reason, like, it's just trash, it's bad, I don't like it. It's like, give me a reason, man. Like, let me know. Like, obviously you heard something. It's like, am I not rapping gangsta enough for you? Like, am I not swearing enough? Like, because I know the type of artist I am. Like, I'm already ready for when and if shit blows up. Like, I'm ready for people calling me corny. I'm ready for people being like, oh, he's not really from Boston, which I am. Like, I'm ready for whatever comes with this shit. Because I've had 10 years of dealing with people, in high school, they laughed at me making music, regardless if they thought it was good or not. They were just like, wow, this guy's really doing that. And, I just think ultimately for me, I've just been hardened to criticism. I've, if someone doesn't like it, they don't like it. If they love it, dope. If you got something specific to say, cool. Like, nowadays I'm more all ears, but I'll be honest with you, like, when someone tells you they don't like your stuff or they got, they really trash your music, it'll always hit. It'll always hit you in your chest. Like, I don't think you care enough if someone's telling you your stuff's trash and you don't kind of feel like, damn, like, because we, as artists, we want everyone to like our shit. At least I do. Like, but that's a perfect world, and it's not a perfect world. So I think that's just ultimately what it is. But
I love your mindset on it. Like, like the way you're picking your brain and like how like your mindset on it is great. I've
had a lot of time to think about it.
We want you to win. Like, I want you to win
man.
because I feel like it'll be that's a great story to tell. You know what I mean? And I was going to say, how would you describe yourself as an artist then? You said you're talking about describing yourself as an artist. How would you describe yourself as an artist? And for you, does the music come first? Are you an artist first? Or are you more like, what comes first to you? And how would you describe yourself as an artist?
Yeah, I'd say when it comes to just, how I would describe myself as an artist, I ultimately just feel like I am able to deliver a certain outlook that I feel like could be more prominent in hip hop. I feel like there's just a lot of, nowadays you got a lot of artists who are very open and like will pour their heart out on some sad shit or some very deep stuff. But I feel like, for me, I want to definitely be that type of artist who's like, okay, he's the one who could literally talk about something about mental health. I'm big on mental health, so I definitely have a lot of stuff where I'll mention that briefly, or I'll talk about a girl, I had a relationship with, went south, stuff like that. Like, I ultimately just want to be the artist where that, like, what I say is like for real. Like, I took me a long time to be real because a lot of, real. Yeah. The real will relate. You know what I mean? So, like, it's just one of those things, man. It took a long time to get that real. And so I think, ultimately, that's just the type of artist I am. Like, when you hear my lyrics, I feel like you will be like, oh, shoot, like, he just said that line. Like, is that real? That really happened? Like, I that's kind of the stuff I'm going for. So, yeah.
Okay. You want to be real and relatable.
Yeah, real and relatable, man. Straight up, man. I want to be real and relatable, man.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
And what can we expect from you coming out very soon? What's going on? What have you recently dropped, and what can we expect in the future coming from you, from an artist?
Yeah, man. Like I said, early in the episode, I got 3 EPs I'm working on. And I already dropped one. One of 4, so I'll be having 4 this year. I might add, more
you try
music.
To be Gucci, man.
Yeah. I'm doing EPs, not albums. So, like, there's a big difference because, not necessarily EPs. Like, it's like,
how many songs per EP?
well, so the technical term for an EP is anything 6 songs or like 3 to 6 songs. I didn't know that when I put out my last EP because it was 6. I thought it would be under like albums, but it's technically an EP. Like, all my other projects I put out have 7 or 8 songs, so those are considered albums. But, like, it's so it's such a technicality. I don't think people are paying attention to it that heavy. But the other stuff that I'm dropping, the other one I have a project where it's just gonna be all like chill sad shit. Like, just it's gonna be a lot of no drums on a couple of songs. Like, I'm going.
Does that come from somewhere?
Yeah, it's like this is the whole thing is like about this chick from like a couple years ago, and and I don't talk about like when I talk about women in my music, I usually like do like an overall, like just talk about of like overall.
Overall,
Like, I don't talk about like a specific girl. I'll talk about like just like different stories and try to put it together in one. Where this project like was like specifically about a certain time. So that'll be coming out. I got a project. I haven't announced this one yet.
You
but
think she'll listen to it?
No. If she does, okay, but
she gonna listen.
Yeah.
If she knows it's about her, she gonna listen. I feel like it's just common like human like curiosity.
Yeah.
A whole album written about you, you don't want to hear it. Like, you definitely gonna try and listen to it.
Yeah.
Send her a text at like 3 a.m.
Just send her a text at 3 a.m. and just be like, yo, I don't care if you see this or not, but I made an album about you and it's dropping at midnight.
Yeah, just text her with a picture of Future or something.
Yeah.
No. Well, it's good.
Yeah. She'll listen to it. Guarantee she'll listen to it.
Yeah, just mad toxic. But my other project I have is with my homie Nick Torch that we're working on right now. Okay. I've been friends with him for a long time now, and he's he was making music for as long as I have too, so we have a lot in common with that. That's gonna be more like a alternative with a hint of hip hop in there, but it's gonna definitely be an alt project. Like, it's not gonna be under hip hop. And then my other project is the one I'm really looking forward to. I'm gonna go more contemporary hip hop R&B with this project. I think the name of it I'm gonna go for is if only you knew. I think that's the title I'm going for. I was gonna name that my other project like a couple projects ago, but then I just switched it, so I'm gonna use that title on this. So yeah, man. So that's like really what I got working on
4
right
projects.
now. 4,
One guy.
Yep, yeah.
4 projects, one guy, one dream.
Yeah, exactly, man. I just wanna flood the market this year. I feel like last year I only dropped 2 songs last year. For me, like, it's good. It's better than nothing. But I really want to drop a ton of music where people go like, dang, like, look at all this music this dude's putting out, like, and it's gonna be quality. These are songs I've been working on for like a year and a half now. So
I have a personal. You mind if I ask a personal question?
Yeah, please do.
How do you feel like when you drop a song, the reception is? I'm talking about reception, like,
that's a good question.
And just being honest, like, reception in the sense of the actual logistics behind it, like Spotify. I think I saw you post your Spotify Wrapped a while ago.
Yeah.
Like, logistically, statistically, how is it received generally, and how do people around you react to it?
Yeah.
Like, are you excited to drop more music because the stats and logistics are good and the people around you doing it, or you just mainly doing it for like yourself? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely want people to mess with it and share it around. I definitely want the numbers to be good. But you know, in this day and age, man, you know, the saying, they say like, you know, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Nah, all that shit lies nowadays, man. Like numbers lie. Numbers lie nowadays.
iPad farms running like YouTube.
You could buy views.
Like I don't even like to talk about it really, because like I don't want to out anybody. Like, but it's clear as day when I see people like I saw somebody post like 1 million streams. I'm like, fam.
Call them out.
I'm not gonna say no one's names. There are multiple offenders of this stuff.
In this area?
Yeah. But like, I'll tell you right now, I'm like, when I see someone with a certain amount of streams, I'm like, okay, I dare you to show me all your numbers. Like, I dare you to go into your Spotify app and go to the settings and take a screenshot of that. And I guarantee you're going to see something sketchy. Because they're not, a lot of these guys are faking streams because ultimately, at the end of the day, a simple listener who sees big numbers are going to go to that because they feel like, oh, FOMO, like what's going on here? 1 million streams, 500,000 streams, like on one song. What's this song? You know, like I don't blame artists for doing it, but like ultimately those things will catch up to you. Because what if, you do a show and you can't bring anyone to your show, but you got this many streams on your song? It's like, what's going on?
It ain't adding
up. You know what I mean? Like something's going on here. You know what I mean?
It's not adding up in the calculator.
Yeah. And like I said, like I'm not I'm not trying to like bash anyone for it because
man, fuck them. Man, fuck them. Man, this is an open ass platform, man. Suck my dick, bro. Like if you pulling up with all these fake ass numbers and doing fake ass shit, like
people out here faking everything.
I mean,
I don't believe numbers on any artist.
Then you go to your show and your show's not lit.
Yeah.
And then you go to your show and your show's not popping.
This is big artists too. Like this isn't just like artists on the come up. Like this is rampant across the whole industry. Like some big artists, like I've heard like there's big name artists. I forget which artist they name. Like you can do your research, like literally like for free, look up and be like, dang, like 75% of this guy's followers are bots. 80% of these streams were from a streaming farm. Like you can source it out if you know.
J. Cole said that. Remember, J. Cole was like, a lot of you get your streams from machines.
Yeah, and it's just the nature of the business nowadays, man. Like, and it all comes back to gathering the simple listeners who don't know that this goes on, because people are attracted to numbers. Oh, this song has 1 million plays, I'm gonna listen to it, before they see the song that says, oh, 1,000 plays. Like that's just how people work. They see numbers, it's a big number, oh, it must be a good song, and their whole perception of that song is like they might just like it because it's popular. They might not like it because it's actually good. So that's why I get why artists will fake numbers and stuff, because it does bring in people to pay like, oh, what's going on over there? Like, so I get it, but at the same time, it will catch up. Like, unless you can override it, you know what I mean?
Unless you're consistent with your lying.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to really catch up with it. So that's just ultimately what.
Are there any people in the Boston area that you've worked with as of recent, like, or maybe just in general, like that you work with that you really like, you really fuck with, you really appreciate, show some love to some of the Boston supporters in the area?
Anyone that you'd like to work with?
Yeah, man. There has been a lot of people I've worked with in the last like 3-4 years. I have met so many people, and ultimately it's from doing the podcast, and having people reach out to me. I reach out to people and I've had them on. A couple of people I feel like I've really, made good relationship with through this is, obviously Nick Torch. I've worked with him a lot through the years, and we've become like good friends out of it. Like we aren't just talking about music and what we're doing. Like we're just chatting up about regular shit. I'd say the people at Bars Over Bars, Hero the MC. Yeah, he's given me a shit ton of opportunities to perform live. So I feel like I have to like shout him out for that. You know what I mean? And
I've seen him post you a lot as well too.
Yeah, like I gotta respect people who are that selfless and willing to to do stuff like that. You know what I mean?
He's going crazy with the angles. He says all about the angles.
Yeah, man. Nah, he don't play around. And I respect anybody, in the game right now who's given opportunities. Vasyan has helped give me some opportunities, and with doing a podcast at his event.
I saw that. That's where we met.
Yeah, that's where I met you.
We met at Lawrence at Central, and I remember. Yeah, he's coming on the podcast too.
Yeah, he's good people, man. He's good.
He's a good dude.
Man.
Talk about your podcast.
It really has. Yeah, TempahZone Podcast. I haven't really been mentioning it too much because right now I'm on a hiatus. I want to come back with the podcast in a real like stamped and like consistent way. But life is busy, man. You know, it's hard to make time for the podcast. You know, I'm a one man team with it. I do everything. So, like to do the podcast consistently, in person, once a week, getting a guest, all on my own. I almost just had to stop. I'm like, yo, like I can't. I'm doing too much. Like my 9-to-5 job is more like a 9-to-7 on some days. You know what I mean?
8 to 6.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I'm doing the music stuff. I'm trying to save money and upgrade in life. I almost had to just put a pause on the podcast until I can come back and do it the way I want to do it. Because the Zoom calls, doing that, I was like, this isn't right.
They just don't hit.
It's not the same. Like if we were doing this right now through Zoom, it would not be the same. It might be a good conversation. It wouldn't be as good as it is here.
Unless you got spider cuz. unless you got, if you're gonna go over,
that works. You got spider cuz on. So
that dude never fails to fucking make me laugh, bro.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah, and when you do a Zoom, you gotta do it with like a crazy ass guest.
Yeah, like somebody you have a combo with that you're familiar with.
Like Spider Cuz, we have a girl coming on as well too. She's with Gabby Shore and Kadi Bum. She has like a whole like swimsuit brand and all this type of shit. But she's also an influencer. Like you gotta make sure if you're gonna do it over Zoom, you got the right person to do it over Zoom, and you go as hard as you can. But to your point, it's never gonna be the same as in person.
Yeah, man, it just won't. I mean, like you do with technical issues.
We did all season 1 in Zoom.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, you do what you I mean, at that point in time, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Like,
it was COVID, so we had to.
Yeah, you won't put out content, and everyone's conforming to it. So it's not like you're the only one. And it's like, what's this dude doing Zoom? But now, with the pandemic happening, there was so much I learned, and it's funny because I've had episodes in the past I could have done where like I could have had someone on a video call, but I had no idea how to do that. Now, like I can do that. And so I guess there's that to take away from it, doing all those Zoom calls. It's like I can literally have anyone around the world if I had to do it. Like if I had to have someone on from LA, bam, had them on. We had
someone in LA. We had someone, we had Leo Dia. That was our first episode ever.
Oh, okay. Wow.
We had someone from LA. We had someone from Puerto Rico. We had Gabby Shore. We've had people come. We have like a couple of like far away places as well too.
Yeah, man, that's dope. That's dope.
It's just I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, I finished my point. But yeah, no, that's cool, man. I think you can't close the door on what you want to do with the podcast. Obviously, we're all from Mass, but I feel like you should definitely branch out if you can and get whoever you want on, and it's your platform. Do what you want with it. Like I don't think there should be I don't think you should just be like, oh, like Boston podcast, Boston artist, Boston this, like
nah. I think I can start in Boston. The foundation is built in Boston.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like that's a great foundation, but like I want to expand as well too. Dope entertainment's expanding. I was gonna say, where'd the name come from? TempahZone.
TempahZone, that's a good one. It's funny, man. I don't think anyone's asked me that in the interview because I haven't really broken it down. But like, TempahZone really just comes from like comfort zone. Like I'm in my comfort zone doing the podcast. Like you come on this podcast, it's your comfort zone. But I really call it TempahZone because for me, like growing up, I always dealt with like anger issues and like temper, that's where it comes from. And it said Tempah because the Jamaican accent. TempahZone. So so that's essentially where it came from. Saying TempahZone was just kind of way of saying like me channeling, this anger issue that I have and turning it out and making something utilizing it properly. So hence TempahZone. I've yet to use it in a song. Like I'm in my TempahZone. I've never said it in a song yet. I should. I eventually want to work it in, but that's just a random tangent. But that's really where the name comes from. It's nothing too deep.
When can we expect a return to the TempahZone?
TempahZone Podcast, shoot, man, it's still to be determined. I can't,
TBD.
Yeah, TBD, man. And like I said, like there's a lot of things.
No summer. No spring.
I would like to get it back by summer. Yeah, there's definitely a deadline I want to have it out by. Like I want to come back with it, but like I don't want to drop an episode and not figure out what I'm gonna do after. You know what I mean? Like I want to
have a plan.
Yeah, I want to have the next 3-4 weeks ready to go.
You should go live. You should be on Twitch.
Yeah, I could do it live. That wouldn't be a bad idea. It would save it. Doing the stuff live definitely saves you time with the editing because you don't gotta what you do live, you do live. Bam. You gotta make edits. Okay, you can once it's done recording, you can go back and make changes. But I think doing it live might not be a bad idea.
I think if you just went on Twitch and just talked about I don't know if you're a gamer at all or do anything. But
I used to game a lot, man. I don't anymore.
I feel like you should utilize Twitch any way you can. Definitely do some live shit for sure.
Yeah, Twitch and TikTok I've been wanting to use more of because I see how Instagram is, and I'm like, Instagram and Facebook, they just want to take your money. You want to get reach. TikTok, you can't just go naturally viral like you used to. So.
TikTok is how you gain exposure.
Absolutely,
and a very small attention span time. Instagram is how you create some more longevity, and Twitch is how you maintain. Twitch and YouTube is how you maintain that base. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you reel them in with TikTok or something, or you could even use Instagram too. And then once you get to the Instagram or they're like, okay, it's like a legit thing. And then they're like, okay, the bigger platform is like the website, the Twitch, and then the YouTube. That's where the real shit comes from.
They can take it from there, yeah.
Because a lot of that shit comes. A lot of the shit that you see at the bottom, like the teaser, that comes from the top level. That comes from the top. So
sure.
it makes sense as well. I was gonna say your name. You say your stage name, Amir Maxx.
Yeah.
Where does that come from as well too?
Yeah, man. Well, my first name is actually Amir, so I definitely want to make that clear.
There we go, halfway there.
Yeah. My name means prince when you translate it. It also means ruler. So it's funny. I used to think my name was always so weird growing up because I never met Amirs. And then the older I got, I'd meet people who are like Islam or I think it's an Islamic name or Arabic name. But whenever I meet people from that culture, they're always like, yo, your name's Amir. Your name means prince. You know that? They don't, I don't think I know it because they see.
With some Amirs.
Yeah. I think some people don't assume I know it because they just think my parents' name is some random name or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, it's always funny. But the Amir Maxx, that really just my dad has a company that he runs where he does in-home installations for TVs and surround sounds and stuff like that. And he's been doing it for 35 years or something. And the name of his company is Tony Maxx TV Repairs. So his name's Anthony. My real last name is McDonald. I don't really care about putting that out. But if for some reason he made it Max. He made it Tony Maxx. So
Max Donald.
Yeah. Some reason Max came from McDonald. So my dad named Tony Maxx, and people in my family will call him Tony Maxx. And subconsciously, I called myself Amir Maxx. I didn't realize till days later. Oh yeah. That's why I did it, because my dad did Tony Maxx. So it's kind of funny, yeah.
Tony Maxx sounds cool.
Yeah, right? Tony Maxx, yeah.
Maxx, it rolls off the tongue.
Amir Maxx.
Tony Maxx sounds good too, though.
Tony Maxx is nice. Tony Montana type. I like Amir Maxx, though.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I added the extra X, so it's 4 letters, Amir Maxx. So yeah,
that unison.
Yeah, I'm big on that. I think Roddy Ricch did the same thing, Roddy, and then he put 2 C's in the Rich. So it's it's a thing. You want to make things look aesthetic.
I feel Real Relate, you get the double R. It's not rolling.
Exactly. Alliteration's another good way to have a good title. So yeah, man, I needed to change my name because nowadays I can tell people, oh, where do you find music? Just type in Amir Maxx. I will pop up. When I was going by AMC, I wasn't gonna pop up if you just typed in AMC.
You got The Walking Dead.
Yeah, you got The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad, and
I feel you.
Not me.
I feel you. I was about to say, you've been in the game for so long. You've been in the game for 10 years. Could you just briefly speak upon one of the craziest in those 10 years? One of the craziest things that's ever happened to you being in entertainment and being an entrepreneur. What's something that's to this day got you shook in the boots?
There was a show I did in college. It was a basement show.
Nice.
But I went fucking ham that performance. And just the whole and all my friends are there. The people who wouldn't have come to a show were at this show because it was also a party. And so these people never see me perform. They've never seen me go in. I think I'm a better performer now than I was back then by a long shot, but I was still doing my thing, rocking, going crazy. And after I did that show, everybody was just like hyping me up, giving me praise. I heard my friends tell me shit to me. I was like, damn, you think that about me? You know what I mean? Like,
those are the guys in the friend group that were like, weren't fucking with your music.
Yeah, they always. Here's the thing. My friends always have told me I'm talented. They always told me like you're great, you're this. But there's, they never took it any further than that. They will let me know how they feel about me, but they never like will, like buy merch or go, that extra mile. But they know what I bring to the table. But yeah, that day, I think it was like 2018. I just remember like that show. Just after that, like I just felt like, wow, man, like this is why I love doing music, like performing in front of people and like giving them a good time and just commanding the crowd. Like I stuff. That moment was, that's where my mind went to. There's probably other things I could think of, but because I was working with this producer John Effects in the past, and he remixed one of my songs, Wave, and that gave me a lot of looks, and the song went somewhat viral on TikTok. So for me, like, that was another opportunity that I'm very grateful for. Stuff like that. I got a Neo shout out one time, so stuff like that.
Neo?
The Neo shout out, the Neo shout out happened. Yeah, it's on my page. Yeah.
Damn, you gotta send me that. That's
yeah,
lit.
he only shouted out like 2 people, so the fact that I was able,
send me that.
Yeah, definitely,
Send me
man.
that.
Yeah,
I love Neo.
Yeah, so that was
Bro,
cool.
I feel you probably don't fuck with that era of music. But like,
when I think of Neo, I just think of him like dancing in the rain or something like that.
Bro, I love Neo, bro. I love him. My mom loved him growing
Neo's
up.
a
And
legend,
I always just fucked with him for the music in general. That whole Neo, T-Pain, Omarion.
It was an era, yeah.
That was an era, bro.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? R. Kelly. But like, I know if I didn't say that name, come on, man.
Still gets a lot of streams to this day.
To this day.
Yeah, people are still listening to him, man.
But yeah, man. So that's crazy. That was the moment for that basement, 2018 in that basement.
Yeah, it was just because of that vibe, man. It was just the vibe of that night.
And how long had from like when you started to that moment, how much time had passed? How much time?
Like since I performed?
Since like maybe when you first started doing music to like that moment in that basement that really like shook you. Like how much time had passed? Like
I would say, well, when I started making music, like 20.
Because you've been in the game for 10 years, so did that happen 5 years in? Did that moment happen
7 years ago?
Yeah, 7. Yeah, yep, boom, yeah.
It was 7 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Started at like 15, 16.
Yeah, I started at 15, so
23.
it's 20. Yeah, it's 2011. Yeah, 2011.
Okay.
So that was 7 years later,
So
man.
the reason why I asked that, as I say that, is because bro, never give up.
No, well, that's the one thing I always tell people, man. Like you gotta, like if you know your calling, your purpose, like whatever you're passionate for.
This is your moment right here. I want to ask this before. I know you're gonna go in right now.
Yeah.
What is the one piece of advice you would like tell creatives from all over, like young, old, maybe 10 years in, maybe fucking 2 weeks in, struggling? What would you tell them? And I feel like you're about to go off right here.
Never stop learning. Yeah, never stop learning because I refused to be like any type of singer, before I changed my stage name to Amir Maxx. Like it was just like if I'm gonna sing, it's gonna be on the chorus, and that's it. Like I ain't singing on no verse. Like I'm not a singer. I'm a rapper. I'm gonna spit. But then through the years, I decided I'm gonna learn how to sing. I saw how the climate's changed, and you see how raps nowadays. Like there's a lot of melody rappers, and I love it. And so for me, that's the type of stuff. I had to go, damn, I got to learn how to sing. I got to really, and I've always had it in me, but I had to, gain the confidence and practice and by any means and learn up on YouTube. So, never stop learning, always adapt to the times, always, see what's going on and find your way to fit in. I think those are the things that will help because if you're reluctant to learn and you're stubborn with this stuff, like you're gonna fizzle out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just think you have to find the way to learn more things and and that's how you get better. If you just keep an open mind.
I think the best thing is like learning how to grow and adapt, but like having an identity, not necessarily staying in your lane.
Yeah.
But like knowing who you are and what you do, but you're willing to like, drop when Drake was dropping like a bunch of music and he dropped Hold On, We're Going Home, they shitted on him for exactly what you went through. Like he was a rapper, what I mean? Like he sang on one album, but like it wasn't like this was like just straight up pop singing, you know what I mean? And he was, and like you could tell his singing wasn't super great on it, you know. And he tried doing it live, and he still wasn't super great at it. And like that's fine, but like at least he tried, you know what I mean? And at least he got better at it over the time. So you're right, like know who you are. And that's make sure that foundation is solid. But like you said, like always adapt and never stop learning. Always keep learning. And then you find the middle and you mix the two.
Yeah. And I say that
and then you're in the TempahZone.
Yeah. Yeah, the TempahZone.
And then you're in the TempahZone.
Yeah, you gotta be in that TempahZone, man. You know, and I really sad because as you get older, you don't want to learn new shit. Like it's a very like you're young, you're a sponge. You want to just like you just soak shit up accidentally. You know what I mean? Yeah. But when you get older, you just understand life more. It's hard to sometimes you can't teach a old dog new tricks. So
I always want to be that sponge.
Yeah, man.
I always want to be learning.
I always want to learn more stuff. So the reason why I took on the podcast, you know, I got better with producing. I'm trying to get better with the keyboard. It's the singing. Like I'm always trying to elevate my stuff. You know, even trying to get better with like mixing. I'm never gonna put out a song I mix, but I never say never. You know, you never know.
Never say never.
You never know. Yeah, but
have you linked up? This is a side question. Have you ever linked up with a guy named John Scott?
I know who John Scott is.
Or Josh Schuback, the guys over at Phoenix Down.
I've met Josh before too.
You should link up with them for sure.
Yeah, no, those guys are beasts with the mix. So.
Yeah, they're mixing, mastering.
I know what they do.
They're producing. Like you should definitely link up with them. I would say there's an artist named G Nipsey as well too.
I've heard the name. Yeah.
Try. We've also had on as well too. Obviously you've been working with Hero and stuff like that. Leo Diaz got a whole team. Reach out to us. We'd obviously love to be a resource for you to like link you up with other people as well too to like maybe get to that next step or maybe to like just experiment. I know
it's a whole Real Relate network.
Yeah,
I believe that.
No, it's a whole Real Relate network / multiverse.
Yeah,
there's a storyline here. There is a storyline.
It's like Marvel with it.
There's a whole storyline, cinematic universe here. So we're all full of characters. It's like playing Smash Bros or some shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
All different types of characters.
But yeah, man, we appreciate it for sure. I'm glad. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it, my man.
I'm glad to do
Welcome
this,
to the Real Relate family.
Yes,
you're fucking part of the fucking network, the universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the multiverse.
The multiverse or whatever you want to call it. That's all. We need like a shirt that like merch that says like Real Relate Multiverse or something.
Yeah. I gotta definitely workshop something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But we appreciate it, my man. Like any last minute like message to the fans, the people watching us on YouTube, or the people listening to us on Apple and Spotify. Any last words before Barber here wraps it on up?
Follow your heart. Block out any negativity and hate. I've dealt with a lot of people doubting me and hating on me and thinking I'm weird and, you know, overly me and eccentric or whatever. If people got something bad to say about you, fuck them. Just keep making dope shit.
Fuck them.
Just keep making dope shit. But be great. You know?
Be great.
But be great.
Follow your heart.
Take constructive criticism. Take constructive criticism.
Don't do your thing and be bad. Do your thing and be good.
Yeah, do your thing. Do your thing and be great.
Yeah, do whatever it takes.
And like I said, like it's okay to fail. It's okay to fuck up.
Yeah.
You learn from those moments.
Yes.
You don't learn from always winning. You don't learn from success. You know what I mean? Like especially realize how young you are. Like if you're in your 20s, you're still mad young. If you're in your 30s, you're still young.
Yeah.
I could even argue if in your 40s, you're still young as well too. You know what I mean?
A 60-year-old will say that.
Yeah,
so.
you know, it's true. Like if you're in your 40s, you still got it. So get after it. And say it one last time. Say it like what is it? Be good? No. What was it?
What was it? Be great.
No. Before.
Do your thing and
do your thing and be great at it. Yeah. Don't do your thing and be bad at it. Do your thing and be great.
Do your thing and be great.
Yeah.
Like Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
Tony Maxx.
yeah. Tony Maxx. Yeah. Like,
that's real relate. Keep it real and
Absolutely.
relatable. But yeah, okay. Well, that should be the end of that. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you so
You're a great
much,
guest,
man. I
bro.
appreciate you.
You're a great guest, bro. I
fuck with this podcast.
I
man.
felt like it was for me, it was a very spiritual journey.
The vibes were immaculate.
This is probably the most like vibey, like spiritual, like just picking the brain out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just,
man.
like,
I'm an open book with it, man. I don't,
talk.
you know.
You're great.
I got nothing to hide. So.
You're a great, like, open book, very, like, you're social, very, like, you got a great soul. Like, keep it up. Keep going and, like, keep getting after it.
Dog.
And that's all I got. Go ahead, Barbara. Wrap it on up.
All right, fam. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Amir Maxx here. Follow your heart.
That's
do
all
your
facts.
thing and be great at it. Until next time, Real Relate family. Peace out.
Deuces.